Now, you got issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of dick riding, bending over the desk ass nigga, straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it, nigga. Bring it. I don't give a fuck. Bring it. Bring it, bitch. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their shit.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive dicks, and it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my motherfucking music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at going to dinner with them and shit like that, and you know all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money. That's it. A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry.
I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out. No, take me there.
DMX spent years sounding the alarm on Diddy's dark side. Warnings the world brushed off, except for 50 Cent. DMX never sugarcoated how sinister the music industry truly is. He claimed it was filled with backstabbers who'd sell out anyone just to move up. He insisted that he had faced real evil in that world, and the only thing that kept him grounded was his unshakable faith. He made it absolutely clear, he was in the game, but the game would never own him. No executive, no contract, no label had power over him.
And what did they do? They sold the company. They invited me into a house and they sold it. Yeah, I am mad. You know what I mean? Go right, I'm mad. I feel betrayed, man, but it. You know what I mean? It's a business and I'm gonna carry it like a business. But my music is still my music. And you play on my music, you play on my life. You play on my life, nigga, you're gonna disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, things are definitely changing there, man.
Yeah, they got a whole new staff now, so I gotta go in and see.
You feel me now? Because here in 2025, what's surfacing about Diddy is even darker than anyone imagined. And suddenly, everything DMX said doesn't sound crazy anymore. DMX had once rejected offers from Diddy. Something about him just felt off. When Diddy passed on signing him, he later tried to outbid Def Jam once they offered DMX a massive deal. But DMX wasn't falling for it. He already knew too much about the shadows lurking behind Bad Boy Records.
One thing I respect about Puff, one thing I respect about him is that at least he told me to my face what he felt. He was like, his voice is too rough, he's unmarketable. Maybe 3 weeks later when he found out I was getting signed for Def Jam, he was like, yo, I'll lace your pockets. I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets. I'm like,
if you didn't know what I was then, you just pretty much jumped on the bandwagon now.
Because if you didn't see the beast that I was then, I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
People used to think when DMX said diddying his artists, he was talking about robbing them blind. But now, with the latest revelations, it's hard not to wonder if he meant that word in a far more literal and terrifying way.
DMX told us about Diddy. DMX was known for talking out about how wicked the industry actually was. He talked about how the industry would basically unalive people because they made more money off of you than alive. One thing that stuck in my mind is the fact that DMX said that he never saw Biggie smile until he passed away. He explained that you would always see happiness in a person's smile or even in their eyes, and he literally didn't ever see that from Biggie until he was in his casket. In the same interview from a long time ago, he talked about how Diddy would rip off his artists and steal their publishing.
I never saw Biggie smile until after he died. And then after he hypnotized. I was like, oh, like a smile brings a whole other light to your your face. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm not really good words, but it's hard to explain what a smile does for a person. Because you don't just smile with your mouth, you smile with your eyes. Like, a true smile can be seen even if a person is covering their mouth. Well, locks got signed before I did, even though I bought the locks to our riders. They got signed, they were a safer group. Pop signed them. And it was a blessing and a curse, because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins, and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and Man, you know, like.
And this isn't the only thing that DMX talked about. He also talked about how there were people in the industry that basically wanted to take you out to dinner and stuff to get a hold of your music. And you cannot tell me that DMX was not talking about Diddy, because the first thing that I thought of is when 50 Cent said that Diddy asked to take him shopping. DMX even explained how some of these artists would sleep with music executives to get up in the industry. And now that we know how Diddy rolls and what he was doing with people's careers, I almost guarantee you the person that DMX was talking about.
DMX also exposed the dark lengths some rising rappers went to just to get signed. He said the desperation was real, and rumors swirled that artists were doing favors for label execs just to get airplay. Back then it sounded like whispers in the wind. But now, those same whispers are circling right back to Diddy, and they're louder than ever.
When you think of it now, he was grooming us. It's kind of like you're signing boy band groups and girl band groups because you like one or two of them and you want to see who's gonna go. It's nothing to you but a tax write-off, but you're really searching for a butt the whole time. So he was looking for my butt, Chopper butt, everybody butt. It wasn't nothing about the music. Was like, yeah, I can, you know, and it took off to be bigger than he ever expected it to be. But Puffy coming up, he was just signing a lot of boys. Usher, it was something he figured out, that was R. Kelly figured out, is we could get them away from the parents. If we could get them alone, isolated, you know, then we can get them. Once you get in a butt, it's like, you want us, man. What you gonna say? I got video of me in your butt. Like, how can you ever make another record? You dig what I'm saying?
Inside the industry, DMX exposed how deeply corrupted the system had become. Talent didn't matter anymore. It was all about who played the game. Record labels wanted total control. How you dressed, what you said, how you looked. But DMX refused to be molded. He famously said, "I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry." And now, in real time, everything DMX warned about is happening. He tried to warn the world about artists selling their souls for fame, and about the predators hiding in plain sight. And yes, one of those warnings was about Diddy.
So in week 2 of testimony, jurors heard from a dozen witnesses as prosecutors try to prove sex and racket. What are your expectations when court resumes tomorrow?
It's going to be really interesting tomorrow when Diddy's third or fourth assistant takes a stand, and she's going to actually corroborate Kid Cudi's testimony from last week, where he said that Diddy and another associate of his bombed his Porsche years ago at his house. Now, you have to have corroboration about that, because nobody can put Diddy there. In fact, nobody even can say Diddy's the actual one who did it. But if they can say that Diddy or an associate of his did it, then you may have a racketeering charge there. Because right now, as it stands, Mike, nothing, and I mean nothing, is sticking to Diddy.
Diddy's lawyers are trying to make the case that his escapades do not amount to federal crimes. How difficult is that argument?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, honestly. Look, everybody has said, and Diddy's lawyers even said it in their opening statement, Diddy is not a good guy. There's a lot of domestic violence that occurred between him and Cassie in their relationship. However, what we've heard so far from the testimony of Cassie and the other individuals does not amount to the federal charges that he's being charged with right now. I'm not going to say anything that we heard is very good, because it's all horrific. However, the state, or the government in this particular instance, needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he conspired to racketeer, to sex traffic, and to promote prostitution. So far, they're falling way behind in this. And I know there's a lot more to go in this trial, because they're saying it's going to be about 8 weeks. But the government really better step on the gas, because they don't have a lot more time to go.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, and all that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Still, DMX was ridiculed, labeled washed up or unstable. Even after his death in 2021, the media branded him troubled, instead of recognizing he was telling the truth. Sure, DMX battled addiction and run-ins with the law. But one thing he was never accused of? Exploiting women or children. Unlike some music moguls who built empires off darkness and still kept getting richer. Now, Diddy might just walk free, unless 50 Cent manages to convince President Donald Trump to block any potential pardon. If 50 pulls that off, it could completely shatter Puffy's escape plan. And suddenly, every warning DMX gave is making perfect sense. If you're following this explosive saga, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because what's coming next might break the internet.